Stellar Fundraising Auctions presents Black Tie and Tails. Brought to you by our partner, Sojourn Ventures, featuring your co-hosts Greg Quiroga and Devon Bell, and with this episode's special guest, Kelly Russell of Artisan Auctions. Welcome to Black Tie and Tails, where we share tales of triumph and tragedy from behind the scenes in the wonderful world of fundraising auctions. I'm half your co-hosting team, Greg Quiroga, joined as always by my co-host, Devon Bell.
Hello, all.
And this episode, we are joined by my good friend and also fellow fundraising auctioneer, Kelly Russell of Artisan Auctions.
Hello. Hi, everyone. How are you doing?
Thanks for joining us, Kelly. So, and I know that you're a jet setter. So, where are you joining us from this week?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I am currently at my home in Indiana. So, okay. I am currently living in Indiana, and that's where I am right now. So, enjoying the heat as it is a very, very warm week here.
Yeah, I went through a 30-degree swing getting to Devon's house today. I left San Francisco. It was 55 degrees, and it was 85 when I got here, and it's going to be 90 by the time I leave.
Yeah, the sun's an evil orb here. I don't know about Indiana.
Yeah. Talking about a heat wave. Yeah, that's it. It's happening.
Summer. Summer's a good time for not doing fundraising auctions.
Yes, agreed.
It's I don't know about you, but this is our mellow season.
Time to ramp up the consulting for the fall slate of events. But yeah,
and start trying to work on some new lines. Oh no, wait! I'll just get in the heat of the moment and fall back on all my favorite ones from the last 20 years.
It's kind of what happens, right? You find one little new one and you're like, I'll work that one in this year. It's good.
I have been trying to remember to work Never Not into my auction patter because I just think Never Not bidding is so fun, but I always forget. I'm never not remembering it. I'm never not forgetting to do it. But just to drop it in, Never Not 1,000, go 1,000, Never Not 1,000, bid 1,000, go 1,000, 1,000, Never Not 11. It's just a fun little. I don't know. I heard the kids say it one day. I thought
cool chant, fam.
Today's episode theme is, and that's where things went. And it could be bad, it could be good, it could be great. But I know that as fundraising, we've based our entire podcast on it. As fundraising auctioneers, we got some story. We've experienced some things. We've heard some stories. And Kelly, I've got to say, we do some networking. We hang out together on Zoom more than once every couple of months, Kelly and I. And I've heard some great stories, Kelly. So where did things go where with you?
Oh, there are so many to choose from. I don't know where to start. There's always a story, Greg, and we've been through a few of them that we have discussed before. But I think one of my most favorite moments, I'm going to say that's where it went. It could be a couple different descriptors. It could be hilarious in some cases. It could be a little bit shocking, like, what just happened there? But one of my favorites, it was just a really funny moment, a very funny moment in an event. And we won't mention client names today. I'm going to stay out of that. But it was a very funny moment where, you know how when you're getting ready for the appeal, you just come out of the auction, you're taking a beat, and you're trying to calm the crowd down.
Yep. Big moment of changing gears.
Different energy. Everything's a little slower. Let's get everyone pin drop quiet. Accomplished. Beautiful moment. Everyone's quiet. Yes. And the doors, the way I remember it, I'll say it this way. The way I remember it is the ballroom doors fly open. My memory. The doors fly open and a gentleman walks in and says, "Why is it so quiet in here?" And I went, "Because we're doing the appeal, sir. Sit down." It's just one of those moments that sticks with you because it was so funny, really. And it was just, he had just gone to the bar and he came back into a totally quiet room. It was dark. it kind of probably looked like it was done and everyone left. In a way. So,
He's like, where'd you all go? They left me.
Oh my gosh, everyone left. What happened? I just went to get a drink. So, I mean, it was really kind of a funny moment. But he came back in and he goes, why is it so quiet in here? And again, of course, my memory is like the doors opening, this man coming in from like a dark figure walking into a room backlit and just declaring, why is it so quiet in here? It was really, truly a hilarious moment, quite frankly. But, and I love to tell that story because I think it's funny, right? Like it's a moment that, the room was silent and I'm sure everyone heard him. I think there was a tiny little chuckle throughout the room because they were all like, okay. And then of course, right after he said it, boom, the video played. So he was probably like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like read the room times infinity, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was really funny.
And the pragmatist in me is always, well, how did the fundraising do after that?
Oh, you know what? Actually, no, that's good. The fundraising, it was a great year for this group. They had a record-breaking year.
Yeah.
That thankfully, the thankful part was he did that like before the video played.
Yeah.
I think if we were coming out of the video and the doors had opened and it was like that really key moment, it would have been like, everyone would have been about to applaud and it would have been like, oh, wait, what? But we immediately distracted the audience with, okay, here's the appeal video, right? So I think it worked out for the best that way. Timing is everything, right? So it could have gone on the back end and everyone would have been like, And I imagine I would have had to jump on stage and be like, the appeal's happening, friend, come join us.
Right.
You're leading us off with $1 million.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
What's happening here, sir, is you just volunteered to be our lead donor.
Right.
Congratulations.
Call back to last episode. It was a record scratch moment.
Yeah, for sure.
That's funny.
It was funny though. How about you all? What's a good
Well, so I've got a couple of different celebrity stories to tell. I'll start with the bad one, I guess. It could be, if we were still doing them, the horror story of the week. But and this is an auction I was spotting at. I wasn't doing this auction, so I was at the base of the stage facing the crowd. It was for a big charity in San Francisco, and that was the year, and I'm going to name the name because he can sue me all he wants. That was the year that the Napa Wine Auction hired Jay Leno to perform at their auction.
Never heard of him.
And he is like, and that was also like the first year the Napa Wine Auction topped 5 million or whatever it was. So this organization in San Francisco is like, we've got to hire Jay Leno. We've got to have him for our auction. That's the key to making a bunch of money. And so and Jay Leno's not cheap. Right. I mean, this is 21 years ago. So he's still hosting the Tonight Show. He's commanding top dollar. And my mentor who's doing this auction and is consulting on it is like, look, I hear you, but if you have Jay go first, as soon as he's done, everybody's going to leave. And they're like, okay, well then Leno we'll have the auction and the fund of need, and then Leno will perform. So Jay's plane lands. He agrees to this. Contractually, he agrees to all of this. His plane lands. He calls the organization and says, I refuse to get off the plane if you're going to have the auction go before me. And they say, okay, great. And my mentor is involved in these conversations. Say, great, have him do a 20-minute set instead of a 40-minute set, right? And Jay says, fine. So we get to this organization's event the night of, and Leno does a 40-minute set instead of a 20-minute set. And then we start the auction, right? And, my mentor is fuming, and I'm new at this point. I've done like 4 or 5 fundraising auctions. I'm just I'm gawking at this whole, Jay Leno, here's this guy who I had admired on, he's on, all of that changes momentarily because not only has he delayed the fundraising, not only has he made the show about him, when the auction starts, he refuses to leave the stage. Right? And so, and he refuses to relinquish his microphone.
Oh,
and
good.
so he's got his microphone and he's doing color commentary on auction lots.
He's like permanent peanut gallery.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
And the first lot is like better, like bottle of champagne and better dessert or whatever, at that point, who wants dessert, but whatever. The first lot's a warm-up lot. It does fine. The second lot is 3 bottles of wine. I think Screaming Eagle might have been in there. Like it was like 3 bottles of really valuable cult wine, like high-end cult stuff. And this guy in the front row, like, he's got his whole table is cheering him on. He's got some beautiful women at his table who are like, yay, it's just this moment, and it sells for $20,000 and the room erupts. We've transcended. We've had that moment where we've shifted the value away from the wine and onto the value of the work that this organization does. And Jay Leno says, $20,000 for 3 bottles of wine. How drunk do you got to be to do that? And that's where it all went down. Because at that point, the guy wasn't a hero. He was an idiot.
Right. He looks like a lush and a boor.
Right. And all Leno knew how to do was deprecating humor. That was his thing, right? That's all he knew how to do. And so he did that to that guy, and the auction just came to a screeching halt. I'll finish the joke. I'll finish the story. At that point, my mentor turns on Jay and says, Jay makes a joke about my mentor's belly, right? My mentor was a large fellow at the time. He wound up passing away from his 3rd heart attack, but after his 2nd and before his 3rd heart attack, they were like, you need to lose 80 pounds.
In an unrelated story, died of a heart attack.
Jay makes fun of his belly, and my mentor looks at Jay and says, yes, my gut and your chin were the perfect 10. Which is that's a good line, especially to Jay.
Pretty good witty first, okay, fine.
Let's go. And Jay's like, oh, that's how it's going to be. That's why we're here. And he's like, no, I'm here to raise money for people who are ironically dying from heart disease. I don't know why you're still on stage, Jay.
Oh, snap.
And so
did he leave?
No, he clawed some of it back, but oh my gosh, just like one of the things that I'll save this for a takeaway, because one of the keys in our job is to make it entertaining, but not make it about us.
Correct.
Yeah. Gonna take a break and say the Black Tie and Tails is brought to you by our partners at Sojourn Ventures. When your auction is in need of some international travel, check out Sojourn Ventures. Sojourn curates trips to Bali, Spain, and now they have 3 options in Italy: Cortona, Venice, and
Puglia in Salento,
where your bidders can spend a week on the coast at the heel of Italy's boot in warm Mediterranean waters. All the trips have reasonable consignment prices. Sojourn offers over a dozen curated packages that include round-trip airport transfers, full-body massages.
Yes, please.
Daily breakfast. You always chime in on the massages.
I know, I do.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm, Temet Nostre and consistency. It's all I ask, quoth Guildenstern. Daily breakfast, in-home chefs, dinners, and more. Your buyers are going to enjoy top-level concierge service and 2 full years to redeem their trip, all at reasonable consignment prices. Check out sojournventurestravel.com or look for the link in the bio of this podcast.
You know how Jay Leno always had that little bit of mean in his jokes, right?
Just the right amount.
Yeah, I always thought he always had a little bit of being mean in his way. Even when he was like hosting the Tonight Show, was on top of the world. He always had the always kind of like a little dig. He was always ready to
deprecating humor and not self-deprecating.
No, not self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Not straight insult comic, but just a little dig.
Yeah, it changed that changed my perception of Leno. Like after that, I started watching his show differently, and just like he only knows how to make fun of.
Yes. Yeah, he makes fun of. Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, that's like the worst thing to have at your event too. Someone that's just making fun of your audience.
Right. You just spent $20,000 for a good cause. You drunk.
Right.
Like what the hell?
I've never seen anything. I haven't seen anything equivalent since. I do a couple of charity events. Yeah. Right.
Good.
Well, I haven't done anything with Jay Leno since. Who I wish I'd done something with? Conan O'Brien.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Self-deprecating.
But he always propped his guests up.
Yep.
I helped coordinate a disc golf appearance on his show. They reached out to me and they're like, "Oh, you want to be on the show?" They were in San Francisco 20 years ago, and I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'm no world champion." And they're like, "Wait, there's world champions?" And I was like, "Oh,
I just blew my own chance."
Yeah. In fact, I know one of them, so I introduced him. I introduced them to a world champion, and he, got him on the show. And the guys said they got a basket out on the stage, and the guy's putting from like 25 feet, and it's not. I mean, they're supposed to be gimme putts, but makeable putts, but also in front of a room full of people. He bangs like the first 4, boom, 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 and the 5th bounces off the chains, and the crowd boos. And Conan doesn't miss a beat. He jumps right in and says, "Oh yeah, boo, boo. Tiger Woods misses one putt, and you guys just have to lose over it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my God, he just equated a disc golf world champion to Tiger Woods at the height of Tiger's powers."
Yep.
And I was like, "Wow, I have nothing but love and respect for that man."
Yeah, he's great.
I love Conan O'Brien. You said you had many stories of which to be like. Have we delved into any of the that's where it all went? For you? South?
Well,
north?
Since we're doing alcohol, since we're doing alcohol and the role it can play both positively in making it festive and lowering inhibitions, and of course it can play a negative role when that goes a little too far. So I had an event.
Lubricant of our jobs.
Yeah, I had an event and it was very enophilic. Lots of wine related lots, lots of wine represented. And it was a big lot, a big auction, like 16 lots, and all happening in the backdrop of people dining and partying and doing their thing.
Side note, I love that 16 is a big auction now.
Yeah, right. 6. Yeah, that's.
I love that 8 is a big auction now for some people.
Yeah, less is more, darn it. Less is more. So I had told them during the consulting process, we can measure as many times as we want before we cut, but once we get going, the event will have its way with us. And so I find it important for me to be loosey-goosey. So anything you want to change, anything you want to double, anything you want to throw in last minute, I'll just roll with the punches, And so when they hit us with the last minute, not on the program, 2 different lots. So now it's not 16, it's 18.
Okay.
And they put these lots in the second half of the auction.
Post fund a need?
Yes. Okay. Both of them are post fund a need. And both of them are a bottle of celebrity booze. And so one of them's a Guy Fieri something, and one of them's a Matthew McConaughey something.
Fiedi.
Yeah, Fiedi. And it's the bottle of booze on a tray with a round of shots for you all to take shots.
Okay.
Oh boy.
And so exactly, and they already were loosened up, and
this a school crowd?
It was a school crowd, which is also a very festive crowd, right? We should party sometime, and now they all have sitters, so they're making up for lost time.
The BAL just went up 30%. Yeah.
And and then one of them, we had the people that brought the booze auction it off with last minute, and as you know, they don't even know.
They did the auction?
That just the one lot, and then and you know how they don't even know how to close it out or do anything, right? I had to jump in, get them through, and so both those sell and go out to the table, and they all do a shot, and then are sharing it with the tables next to them. And there was 2 of these, mind you, so there's 2 bottles of hard alcohol floating around, getting drunken on, he said, appropriately, grammatically incorrectly, getting drunken on by the people. And that's when it all went pretty sideways because, we don't mind auction lubricant for lowering inhibitions, but we're not looking for the people to get actively messed up. And it was like everyone in the crowd was that guy saying, why is it so quiet in here?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that when crowds go too far, I mean, you're talking about a school, and I remember a school, same thing, bottle of alcohol, tray of shots, and the auction chair bought it. And at the end of the night, she was sacked out in a chair that she found, like a big fluffy chair. And I was like, oh no. And like, we needed her to like, close stuff out, right? Like,
right. Make decisions.
Right. Or the thank you at the end. Yeah.
The team just kind of went and worked around her. I mean, there was that one that I told you about, and there were folks that were really sick at the end of the night. They drank way too much. And the thing is this, for me, personally, I do a lot of events for sober groups too. And it's quite the dichotomy, if you will, to see, going from an event where people are being peeled off the floor to going to an event where you have everyone's undivided attention. It's amazing. And I think some of those events, oftentimes I see those sober events do far better than the ones where everyone's just snockered, right? Like it's not about getting too far gone. Lubricated. I always say, we want them to be pickled, not sauced, right?
Yeah.
Like pickled, not sauced, right? Sauced is bad. Pickled is okay. It's good to have a little bit of the lubrication, but again, moderation is really important. So yeah, I see that come time and time again, and I go, okay, we got to like shut the bar down sometimes because there is a tipping point, I believe.
Yeah. We're trying to lower inhibitions, not obliterate them.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's well put. And at the end of the day, I don't want people to regret their decisions so much that the next morning they're looking for ways to get out of bids. Yeah, because that happens too. Like I've had worst case scenarios where people are like, "Oh no, we're not going to pay for that," right? And let's set aside the whole moral compass question of actively bidding on something and then deciding not to. Putting them in a position where they can get that lubricated falls on us. Yeah, kind of. Not on us as auctioneers, but us as the event, the event.
Yeah, exactly, as the event. And I think too that you do a big disservice, and if you say, "Hey, I want to return this item because I can't use it," or I was a little too far gone, or whatever, right. You do a really bad, it's a disservice. It's a big disservice to the nonprofit because they can't sell that item now, friends, right? Like the event was yesterday.
Yeah.
We can't go back in time and go, oh, you know what? We made a mistake. We don't want that package.
Even if you're keeping track of who your other bidders are, even if you're tracking underbidders, you go back to somebody's Sunday morning at 10 o'clock and be like, oh, hey, remember that trip for the weekend that you bid $9,500 on? Good news.
Right.
It's available again. And they're like,
no. I mean, I see it happen the night of. They're like, yeah, never mind.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so when you go to double and they got caught up in the moment or happy to be let off the hook and they're like, wave you off. But you're right. Like the bidding 9,500 on it when you have a buzz and everyone at your table's chanting your name, and then bidding 9,500 from an unexpected phone call on Sunday morning. Those are very different things.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like handling an auction all the way through on phone calls to people? Because that's kind of what you're doing. Like, hey, this person had outbid you or was bidding and they backed out. So we'd like you to go. No, it just isn't. It's not a smart plan. It's not the way to go.
No, I agree. Well put. Not the way to go.
Phone bids. Well, I mean, phone bids are a thing that can be great, but not if you're calling them.
Well, and your point about having when you were talking about sober crowd versus lubricated crowd versus inebriated crowd, and what sort of resonated with me with that was that what it really comes down to is how much the crowd cares.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so we see schools get like really, really stupid drunk, but they also care a lot. And so they're going to spend the money. Like those two things are hand in hand. And
it's different too, because it's a night out, right? Like it's parents' night out and they're not going so hard that they're going to get up the next morning and take care of their kids, right? They're not going so hard that they're being peeled off the floor by anyone. You don't want that, right?
Sure.
And I had another example, and the last example I had was a celebrity who cared more about himself than about the cause. And I actually have one that's the opposite. So I'm doing a golf tournament in North Carolina. It's a big golf tournament, big organization, sports-based organization on TV, whatever. And one of the auction lots is to go to the Sugar Bowl, the All-State Sugar Bowl, and to get the full behind the scenes VIP access, stay at the hotel, get driven in, go on-field access before the game, then up and stay in the suite with Dennis Haysbert, the voice and face of Allstate, right, is going to be there with you and is going to be, you're going to do this whole thing. And so I make the whole pitch. This is like lot 2 or 3. It's early in the auction, and the crowd, not only are they not shutting up, they're not bidding, right? I mean, this is a package that, given the ticket price and given the capacity of the crowd, you would think like this is going to sell for $10K, right? Mm-hmm. Like this is a $10,000 package. And the way we were starting things out, we were starting at like 2, which was insanely low, but the value of it was only 4. And so we were honoring that and so it's 2. And I'm like trying to work the crowd at 2 to get things going, and people aren't bidding. And so Dennis Haysbert himself comes up and grabs a microphone, and in that lovely voice of his says, "No, no, 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 no. This simply will not do." He's like, "You don't just show up." And he goes on to berate the crowd for what an experience this is, how stupid they're being not bidding on it, how disrespectful to the cause they're being not bidding on it, and says, "Now I'm going to stand here and you all are going to bid it up." And they did.
Good.
He like, that's where things all went right, because he changed the tone and the tempo of that. Like, he changed the whole tenor of that auction. He pulled a shift that I wasn't sure how. I was trying to pull it, and I just, like, the crowd was like, "Yeah, whatever. You're an auctioneer. We don't care." But Dennis leveraged his celebrity with that crowd and just whoomp, and got them straight on it. And so
change the tenor, or the mellifluous bass, if you will.
Yes. Yes. He's got such a good voice.
Oh, yeah.
And so after the auction, everything's done. I say my whatevers, and I grab my sound gear, and I'm wheeling back to the hotel, which is right by the event center. And as I'm going by the hotel bar, I see Dennis Haysbert at the bar with the volunteers, hanging out with the volunteers after the event. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is so magnanimous. And so I went and I just said, "Hey, I want to let you know." I said, "I appreciate you." He's like, "Oh, you did a great job." I'm like, "Thank you. That's not, but no, you, sir, changed that auction." And I said, "I so appreciate you doing what you did, because you shifted everything and had that was the moment when it all started going right. So thank you for that." And I've run into him a couple times since, and I remember that story apparently better than he does.
Who are you again?
Right. And why are you at my house? But because he's participated in a celebrity golf tournament in Northern California, and my son Ryder was spotting for me at it a few years ago, and I was like, "Oh, Ryder, this," and I introduced him to Dennis, and I told that story to Ryder and Dennis in real time, and like Dennis was like really humbled, and Ryder was like, "Oh, that's super sweet," and all Dennis's friends were like, "Dude, that's great!" Like Dennis got lots of props from his friends, so it was nice to be able to pay it back in front of his homies.
That's really nice. That's you love it when a celebrity comes in and knows the assignment, right?
Yes.
Thank you for knowing the assignment. You're here to help amplify the event, not make it about you.
Yeah.
That's where I think a lot of times it goes wrong, is that when a celebrity is involved, they change that. They change the whole dynamic of the event. Or people sometimes, if I don't know, I'm sometimes don't like to announce that we have a big celebrity and make it a surprise for the people who care about the event, because sometimes I think people will buy a ticket to go for the celebrity.
Sure.
And I think that can, it could be good, it could be bad, but I don't know. It's a hard one. How do you balance that one, Greg? Do you announce the celebrity? Do you not announce the celebrity?
I usually don't even get involved in that conversation. They usually make that decision without me.
Right.
And more often than not, they announce the celebrity.
Yeah. I've had a couple where they surprised you with the celebrity, and it was exceptional. It was really fun. So I like when they do that too, because it can be a really positive moment and people it can create that big momentum at the very start of the night as, oh, by the way, we have this extra special guest that's here with us as well. And then they pop out and you're like, what? Who is that? Why are they here? You know?
I've done events with the Dixie Chicks where I was told, don't mention them.
Oh, wow.
And they don't want any attention from the crowd. And like they sat and enjoyed the event and had a good time. And we never, ever mentioned the fact that they were in the room. Even when we sold their auction lot, I was like, I can't say anything about that. And they're like, nope. I'm like, okay. I just said, thanks again to the chicks.
I gave you that note. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. Right.
Here they are.
Right. Oh, yeah. Whoopsie. Well, thanks for all your time with us, Greg. You won't see us next year.
Right.
Yeah. And that was the time I did that event for the last time.
But tempting to just like, hey, notice, right? I'm so excited to have you all here, and especially you people in this little area right here.
Especially table 8.
I accidentally once, I didn't realize that Carrie Brownstein was in my audience. And I was just, when I'm doing an appeal and people raise their paddle, I thank the people I know by name. And I'm like going along. I'm like, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. And at the end of the night, I walked up to her and I said, I apologize. We don't actually know each other, but you're so familiar to me. I said, thank you. And she's like, hey, it's nice to meet you. And she was really cool about it. So that was lovely because, sometimes we just get caught in that, we say thank you by name when we know them.
I have an event that prints the names on the paddles on the front.
Oh, that's so nice.
In
I love when they
big
do that.
font.
Nice.
So, and I had a guy bidding one night, and I'm like, back to you, John. And he's like,
how do you know that?
I'm like, it's printed on there, dude. And he's like, oh, okay.
I love that. I love that for an appeal too. I walked around a room once and I said, thank you to everyone by name. And the client is like, how did you know so many people's names? And I said, you printed their names right on the front of the bid card. And they go, oh, okay. So I just used it. It was a great tool. I do love that. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
As long as everybody is okay with having their name set out,
Well, that's right.
Sometimes people aren't.
No, and our rule is if you want credit, you get it. If you want anonymity, you get that. If you want to take the mic, well, let's talk about it.
That's mine.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons I love having a headset. Like I've had people try to take my mic and I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
Yeah, it's hard.
They're like, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know, but you don't use this one.
I just had to do the handheld mic crapped out and no one could be heard. And I had to take off my mic and they held it in front of them. But it was just, the vent will have its way with you. And it was either that or no amplification for them. So
I did that. It was like a 9-year-old girl who was supposed to talk and the microphone crapped out. And she was like, and I was like, here you go. Hang on.
And held it.
Yeah. Let me,
Yeah, in the theater, when you're in the theater, they just come and grab your head and start singing to your head so that you can hear the other person. That's always fun. If you see a weird situation going on stage, that's why. Because
they have those little micro,
right.
They're like, my mic is out and I can hear that it's out. So I'm going to grab this person that's not expecting it. And then they're like, they start singing to your forehead or your cheek.
Yeah, because they have those tiny little countrymen that are taped on. Yeah.
It's hilarious. So if you ever see someone, because sometimes they do them down through the hairline.
Yeah.
So funny if you catch someone in a show where you realize their mic went out and then all of a sudden they're singing really closely to the person across.
Oh gosh,
I like that auctioneer, but he was in my face too much. He's all up in my face.
Cool auctioneering thing, and one of them just went straight for the other.
That's hilarious. So Kelly, you had mentioned one other story, and you don't have to tell it if you don't want to, but if you want to, if you want to hit one last one before we go,
that's when things went.
Oh my gosh, off the rails. All right. So I'm traveling because, as we mentioned, I am back and forth from the West Coast to the Midwest, to the East Coast. So I'm traveling and I get a call from a client who we are going to work with that weekend. And the call is the executive director saying, Kelly. And I was like, what is happening? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. We have a situation. And I said, okay, pretty sure we can figure it out, right? I said, what's going on? our MC just got arrested.
Oh,
I said, okay, wait, your MC just got arrested and your event is in 2 days. Yes. Oh, okay. No problem. So the team went into go mode and we said, okay, the MC got arrested. We got to find an MC. They were out of MCs. They had no one else that could step into that role, 24 hours in advance. And of course, everything's printed, the catalog is printed, everything's set up, ready to go. And this person is listed everywhere. And so I called my team and said, hey, y'all, we got to find an MC. I'm jumping on a plane. I'm going to recommend these 3 or 4 people. These are the people that come to mind. Do me a favor, send out a big whole thing and see who's available. So they send out a big whole thing. And by the time I landed 2 hours later, it was sorted. Like,
oh, great.
The MC was identified, which was great. And all I had to do was call the client back and go, we got someone. And, it was a situation where, yeah, we got someone. It's going to have a tiny cost to it, but, it is what it is. How do you feel? And they said, we'll go for it. And they had a great event. They had a record-breaking event. It was really good. But yeah, that was a fun one. Just finding out the MC got arrested.
Well, and in the program too. So I mean, like, are people showing up the night of and being like, oh?
Well, it was supposed to be a male on stage, and we put a female in that spot instead. So everyone was kind of like, so it was addressed at the top of the night in the nice way, right? Like, hi everyone, as you can see in your program, I am not the person that is listed there. They couldn't make it tonight. That's how we went with that. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it.
They wish they could be here.
they couldn't make it. Now let's never discuss this again.
It was one of those. Unfortunately, they're unable to make it tonight, so I'm stepping in their place, and it went fine. No one else knew what was really going on, and they didn't need to. But it was definitely a shocking moment to have someone call and be like, I don't know, like, what do we do? And it happens. Sometimes people get sick. There's a lot of things that happen. But yeah, arrested was a new one. That was a new one for me. I hadn't had that before.
Props to your team for making that happen on short notice too.
Big time.
Yeah, I've never
they got together. And then they sent like the script to the new MC, changed it all out in the script. So everything was like wherever that person's name was, it was the new person's. Like, they changed all of it, sent all the information out and said, okay, we'll see you at the event. And it was like, done. Good. Great. Thank you. So
I've gotten gigs for people canceling last second before, COVID, especially, like, oh, somebody got COVID, couldn't be there. I don't think I've ever landed a gig because somebody got arrested and couldn't be there.
It was crazy. It was a crazy, crazy situation all the way around. But, hey, these things happen, and you never know what's going to be tossed at you. You just got to be able to roll with it, right?
Absolutely.
Kind of what it's all about. So. Yeah.
During consulting, we agonize over every aspect of it. And then right before the event starts, we throw all that out the window and just go.
Sometimes, if the vibe changes somehow, or if things have shifted, that's our job. Our job is to go, okay, how do we solve this in this moment? Right.
Yep.
And I know you all are both really good at that. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. We roll with what is happening in the moment because we have to react, right? We have to react to what the room is doing. And on top of that, we have to react to what's happening in the world. There's sometimes that those things come to life and we just have to go, okay, how are we going to handle it? Oftentimes you check in really quick with your client, figure it out and go, okay, we got it. We're good. Let's go. And away we run.
Well, and that's a great segue into takeaways for today, because I feel like we have got some takeaways, and one of the takeaways is to be in the moment with both the crowd and the organization, right? I mean, you weren't on stage when the guy was the doors flew open and all of that, but everything that you expressed about being in that moment of being like, if you had been on stage, like, yeah, that would have been an opportunity to be in the moment with him. I think like being there with the crowd. I'm stretching. I'm rambling here.
No, you have told me that before, Greg, and I've taken it to heart, which is when stuff happens that you don't expect, when stuff goes sideways, it's okay, both with the organization and with the crowd in real time, to acknowledge it and not go like, oh, look over here, or try to do misdirection. It's happening and we all see it. And that doesn't mean we can't still be successful within the context of the craziness just hit us.
Yeah.
And I think there are times, I mean, I know, Greg, you and I probably both have, well, you have a bigger story, but there are times when things happen to people too.
Yes.
And in the room, you have to literally go, I've had caterers run up to me and say, stop, stop, stop. Someone tripped in the back of the room and fell. And you know, I'm like, well, 95% of this room, there's one table in the back that's actually paying attention to what's going on there. And the rest of the room is facing forward and talking to us. We've had development directors, executive directors have no idea that there was an emergency in the back of the room. And we've had firefighters and first responders come into the room and no one knew except for 1 to 3 tables in the back of the room, because we kept everyone's attention face forward. Because I also think to myself, like, if I were in that position, I wouldn't want 250 or 300 people turning around going, what's going on there? You know, I'm not interested in that. I want everyone to be enjoying their night as much as possible. So when you don't have to stop, it's best not to. So,
Yep. Well said.
And I think another takeaway is to find people committed to the mission of the organization. And that seems like a really like low-hanging fruit to pick, but not just in terms of bidders and supporters, but also who you're going to put on stage.
Yes.
Because
you have people who believe in it. If you don't believe in it, you're not going to be authentic. It doesn't make sense. I mean, and I think that, like in the case of the MC, I'm glad that this group was working with us and we knew people to call. So like, think about your vendors and who you're working with and who's going to have a backup plan to help you, or help you through a backup plan, or create a backup plan in a jiffy, because that is sometimes something that happens. You know, you never know what's coming up and you've got to find a way to get through it. So you need people who are creative on your team too. Yep. And I see that in lots of different vendors. I see that all over the place. So, it's good to have the ones that are going to do really good creative things for you rather than not so great creative things for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think your Jay Leno story really speaks to what you were just saying about people. You want people who are motivated by the success of the mission of the organization and not just motivated by their own particular skill or talent or celebrity, right? Yep. And I see that all the time. At one of my events, we'll get a MC who's like a local newscaster or something, and they speak perfectly and they are fast and slick and perfect, and it loses something in translation. I'd almost wish they were a little more awkward, but a little more from the heart.
Human.
Yeah, human being. Human. Yeah, exactly.
I think the other takeaway I would put in here, and for the boozy events, there is super boozy events. You know, I had another event that did something very creative, which was they came up with a safe ride home as a sponsorship opportunity. And I really, really loved that, because the donor created an account and and got a lot of credit for, hey, if you want to, you know, Uber in, we've got a safe ride home. Your ride home is free. We promoted it.
That's great.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. But not a lot of people took him up on the offer, but he got a lot of credit. I think it was an auto detailing company too, because where are they going to fit in this whole kind of thing? And it was great. It was, you know, automotive related. So, but that safe ride home was great because they got a lot of credit for it. And honestly, it didn't actually cost them a lot of money because they created their own account, and gave a code to everyone at the event. I think if I were doing it differently, and what we've done in the future is that if you'd like to be the Safe Ride Home sponsor, you can be the Safe Ride Home sponsor for $5,000. And even if everyone took you up on it, it would be $5,000, right? Like, but not everyone's going to. So you get to keep a little of that sponsorship, some of the money for your event too. But it's a good way to make sure you don't have people completely sauced trying to get themselves home.
Yeah, it's responsible, and it also has great messaging to it.
Yeah, it's great, and like you said, they got to be the hero, you know, from a marketing hat perspective. It's great, right?
It is, and it makes. I mean, it just, you know, and not everyone's going to drink, and not everyone's going to need an Uber home, and like
not every event chair is going to pass out in the back of the room.
Correct. We're not going to be doing shots all night either. So yeah, I mean, I think there is a lot of I think there's a lot of opportunity in something like that. And I just really love the idea of that for every event anyway, because honestly, I mean, we want to make sure that our donors are taken care of, because that's part of what we do. We take care of them. We're grateful for their contributions to us, and we need to take care of them. So I think not only is it a good message, it's just something good to add to every event if you can do it. It's a great sponsorship level.
Well, and that another takeaway from that also is just be creative with your sponsorships.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Safe Ride Home is one of them. If you're at an event where everybody's already Ubering in, I do an event in August where they've cut down the number of people, and now we're down to 120 or 130 people, and every table has its own driver.
Oh, nice.
That picks them up wherever they're staying and brings them to the event and waits for them and takes them home. Every table has its own little minivan or shuttle or whatever. And that's like high level, right? Like, yeah, I love it. But like they've taken care of it. For them, the Safe Ride, that's not a spot, but there are other creative sponsorship opportunities to always be on the lookout for. I mean, I for one love paddle sponsors.
Yep.
Put you know, you want to have a different, put your company's name on the back of the paddle. I am fine with that. No, turn the Wells Fargo around so I can see the number. Thank you. You know.
Thank you. Yep. Or also, everyone turn it so Wells Fargo is facing, and we can give them that gift in a picture.
Nice.
Great idea.
I like, because I often will do the like, okay, everybody, if you can hear my voice clearly, please put your paddles. Oh, come on. The photographer wants a better picture than that. You're not paying any money. Show the, like, at least you'll look like the most generous crowd ever.
Yeah.
Okay. Now flip them around. Yep. And then flip them around. Yeah.
Right.
Turn them around really quick.
Let's
and get
give our, that's good.
On the back side of that.
Everyone throw up those paddles. First time is free, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice. See, yeah, gotta, and I'll forget it by the time I get home.
We recorded it.
That's true. I've heard this recording is going to be available to people. Well, thank you, Kelly, for joining us. Totally appreciate you and taking time out of your hot Indiana summer schedule to join us.
It's always a pleasure. And thank you so much for having me. This was really fun today to chat about all of the things and how they went.
Awesome. Send me links. I will put them in the bio in the description of the podcast. Thank you, listeners, for joining us for this episode of Black Tie and Tales. We appreciate you. Hope you have a wonderful recharging summer. As always, you can find our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, and all your favorite podcast distribution outlets. You can also find it at blacktieandtales.com. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to
smash that like and subscribe button.
dun, 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 dun.